Graham cracker if you want. Would you like that? Howdy and welcome back. I'm Lily and this is Gigi, and today we're going to be using my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe and making it s'more. You may have noticed this bag looks a little old and busted. Well, I've had this for over a decade now. I saved it because I liked the recipe. It's in my little recipe binder. And this is the recipe we're going to be using today. It's called Hershey's Classic Mini Kisses Cookies. We're going to start off with a cup of softened butter. A lot of people tell you to use unsalted butter, but I enjoy having sweets that aren't too sweet, and I think the salt in the butter helps combat that quite a bit. So I use salted. Okay, we have 3/4 of a cup of regular granulated sugar. We've got 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Bloop. And we're gonna make these light and fluffy. Make them light and fluffy by beating them. All right, so let's get started with that. I think that'll work. I do see a chunk of brown sugar in here, which will not work. Okay, we're gonna take that lump out. Okay, next we're going to add 2 eggs. And I always like to add my eggs individually. I crack them. I have some extra brown sugar, it didn't make it in. There we go. I crack them individually in a separate container before I add them to the whole, so that I can catch any eggshell before it goes in. And I also need to add a teaspoon of vanilla to this. And I'm using my vanilla blend because for baked applications, you don't have to use the expensive stuff. This tastes lovely. There we go. Let me double check my recipe and make sure I didn't leave anything out. Let's see, brown sugar, white sugar, vanilla, eggs, and then after we get that all together, we'll put in the dry. So let's get this incorporated. I think it's always important to scrape down the sides so you don't get any unincorporated bits. There's my oven telling me it's preheated. Okay, so all this is ready to go. Let's get the dry all mixed together. So for the dry ingredients, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And then we have a teaspoon of baking soda, which is also a bit salty. And then we have actual salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Assuming I can get it out of here. There we go. This needs to be mixed together before I just dump it in, because we don't want any unincorporated bits of baking soda or salt in our final cookie. All right, and we're not dumping this all in at once. We'll do a little at a time. I'll take the spatula out of here. First bit is in. Let's add the second. And I always start my beaters slow when I have something powdery I just added, because if you put them on fast, you might get a face full of flour. And then last addition of our dry ingredients. My beaters were working hard at the end there. We have all our mixture together. Let me scrape it down. So this is our cookie dough. Can't have chocolate chip cookies without chocolate chips. So the next ingredient is semi-sweet chocolate chips. 1 3/4 cups. Rather than be really precise, I am just going to guesstimate 3/4 into this measuring cup. Feeling good about that? I'm also going to add some, so these were a favorite of mine growing up, and I think they taste like honey graham crackers. So what would be better, says I, for a s'mores cookie than honey graham crackers? So I'm going to add, let's see, very precise measurement here, right, Gigi? I think you can have a graham cracker. You want a honey graham? Yeah? Okay. Let's see what a cup looks like in here. If we need to add more, we'll add more. A little over a cup. I think the grams might be as important as the chocolate chips to this, so maybe I should do this equal amount. I've never tried adding cereal to my chocolate chip cookies before. I hope this works. So I've got my cookie sheet, got my cookie dough, and I've got 2 different kinds of marshmallows here. I've got the larger kind, and I have the minis. I read on one recipe online that they recommended cutting the minis in half. They said they would swell up in the oven. I don't know how I think about that, but in the spirit of science, I'm going to cut some of these in half to add to a cookie. And we'll see which come out the best. So I think that should be enough for one. This should be enough for the other. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Okay, let's make it equal and do 5 whole mini marshmallows. There you go. Or 10 halves. So we have 10 half mini marshmallows here, 10 half mini marshmallows here. So we're going to 5 and 5 for these. And then we're going to try 1 and 1 for the big ones. All right. Set these to the side and let's figure out how to get these marshmallows in there. You saw me drop a marshmallow. It's a little overly full. Let's try mixing it in. This is so awkward. All right. Science, people, science. Let's give it a try. Okay. So this would be mixed in theoretically how somebody'd mix it in if they just added it straight to the dough. I'm going to do that again for the second half. Messy, messy. And this is an ungreased cookie sheet. I guess I need to do the same for the whole marshmallows. Lord of mercy. This is a lot of effort. I still am not sure how I'm going to get the big one covered. Maybe set it on top. I don't know. Half marshmallows, whole marshmallows, and then grande marshmallows. Maybe underneath. Would that work? Kind of, sort of. That kind of looks okay. Should I put parchment underneath it? Okay, like how that looks. So Typically, these go on an ungreased baking sheet. It's making me nervous because there's usually not marshmallows involved. So I'm thinking, let's transfer this to another cookie sheet. They're still in the same order, y'all. Halves, minis, wholes. Slide this. Ah! Rollin', 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 cookies be a rollin', something, something rollin', rawhide. Okay. I'm sorry, Gigi. This is a bit of a hot mess. Let's try this. It's usually 8 to 10 minutes bake time. So let's just give it a whirl and see what happens. Here's the 6-minute update. They're toasting well. Well, let's see the results of our marshmallow test. So remember, these are the ones with the half marshmallow. These are the whole mini marshmallows, and this is the grande marshmallow, the whole big marshmallow. And you know what? I'm not mad at that. That definitely gives off s'mores vibes. I'm gonna wait for these to cool a little bit, and then we'll do a taste test. All right, these have cooled off a couple minutes. I feel like we're safe to remove now. You can see things have deflated a bit. The marshmallow has deflated. In the oven, I thought for sure that that wouldn't work, but looking at it now, it's kind of fabulous. So, you can see it's all cookie on the bottom. Buen provecho, y'all. Seems crispy. Definite marshmallow. That's delicious. I want to get a bit that has some of the graham cracker in it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That graham cracker was not delightful anymore. It was very, very chewy. Let's see. I'm going to actually pull one directly out of here and try it. Of the things that I thought would not work on this recipe, that would not have been one of them. As for the half marshmallows or the whole, I can't tell the difference visually. Can you? Let me try a little piece here that has the marshmallow, the chocolate, and the graham. You can't really taste that graham cracker. I don't know if it's adding anything. I'm a little sad that I put it all through the dough because there's no backing out now. Still tastes good in the raw dough though. So I think the verdict is, if you want s'mores cookies, go full tilt, put the whole big marshmallow on it, and just embrace it. These two seem very similar, and I don't see how it would matter one way or another. I think the way to go would be the whole marshmallow. So when you're making your s'mores cookies, folks, the whole marshmallow is the way to go. And perhaps not the golden grahams in this recipe. Save it for the next one. So I hope this was helpful for you when you make your own s'mores cookies. Gigi and I appreciate you watching. Thank you for supporting our new channel. I think Gigi's finished. Thank you for supporting our new channel. Please give us a like and subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye. You sure you don't want... Here, I can give you another piece of the graham cracker if you want. Would you like that?